Hello and welcome to WEBN General News. I'm Isa Ortega.
And I am Justin Chen. Let's get right into some breaking news. Former Patriot player Sergio Brown is missing after his mother was found dead in Illinois. Brown's mother, Myrtle, was found unresponsive near a creek on Sunday at her Maywood home. Her death was ruled a homicide. Neither the NFL nor the Patriots have made statements on that matter.
I-93 South in Wilmington was closed for most of this Monday morning after a tractor-trailer crashed and spilled its load. MassDOT reported the accident around 5 this morning near exit 35. As of 7, only one lane was open.
The three men who were trying to kidnap Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer in 2020 were acquitted after being charged with supporting terrorist acts and carrying firearms. 14 people were charged either on the state or federal level in this case, and 5 were acquitted. While the State Attorney General Dana Nessel was disappointed by these decisions, she says that some of the court's victories throughout these cases, quote, sends a clear message that acts of domestic terrorism will not be tolerated in our state.
And Joe Biden granted a disaster declaration on Hurricane Lee, which was requested by Maine Governor Janet Mills to ensure access to federal resources. The once Category 5 hurricane has become weaker but wider. The White House stated that the Federal Emergency Management Agency is authorized to provide the necessary equipment and resources to alleviate the impacts of the emergency. 75% of federal funding provides reimbursement for mass care, evacuation, sheltering support, and other emergency protective measures. Massachusetts Governor Maura Healey stationed 50 National Guard troops for storm preparation. Let's take a look at what else is going on in the White House. Our political correspondent, Sam Lawrence, has the latest. Sam?
Secretary of State Antony Blinken and fellow members of the Biden administration sanctioned $230 million to the Egyptian government in military aid. U.S. lawmakers and activists alike have condemned Blinken's decision due to the continued human rights violations that have persisted under Egypt's current president, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. El-Sisi has been in office since 2014, and just last November, he met with President Biden to discuss the growing threat of climate change. Despite also discussing the importance of human rights protections, little has been done to rectify the conditions in Egypt. Defending his decision to approve the economic aid, Blinken affirmed that maintaining a positive relationship between Egypt and the United States is more important in this moment than addressing the continued humanitarian crisis. And this past Thursday, Hunter Biden was indicted by Republican Special Counsel David Weiss. The ruling is in the midst of numerous allegations against Biden, claiming that he lied about his addiction to cocaine when filling out applications to purchase guns in 2018. Biden is being indicted on 2 counts of misinformation and 1 count of unlawfully owning a gun while knowingly being addicted to drugs. Reputable experts in gun policy affirm that it is rare to prosecute a defendant solely for drug use when no other crime has been committed. The indictment comes at a crucial time of the presidential race as the country prepares for another election. In other news, Utah Senator Mitt Romney has officially made the decision to resign from Congress after over a decade of public service. In his announcement, Romney implored both former President Trump and current President Biden to take a step back from politics as well. He cited the need for a younger wave of politicians to come forward and take on the pressing issues affecting everyday Americans. With his political career coming to a close, Romney expressed hope that traditional conservatism will come back stronger in the future and replace the massive influence that Trump currently holds over the GOP. That's all for political news. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sam. We're going to take a quick break, but coming up, find out more about Mayor Wu's zoning reform.
And the latest news in the NFL with football season kicking off. We'll be right back.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
Welcome back. Let's get right into today's stories. 10 Republican lawmakers on Capitol Hill are urging a sanction against the Chinese tech giant Huawei. They say the company's newest advanced smartphone, the Mate 60 Pro, uses the 7-nanometer chips, which violates the U.S. export control. The U.S. Commerce Department put Huawei on their blacklist in 2020 regarding national security concerns. Another Chinese tech company, SMIC, is also on the sanction list. In more international news, we go to our correspondent Noah Berkowitz with the latest.
Thanks, Justin. The death toll from recent flooding in Libya has topped 11,000, with an additional 10,000 missing. Stemming from Mediterranean storm Daniel, entire neighborhoods were leveled. The worst damage came in the port city of Derna. According to the Libyan National Center of Meteorology, the city collected over 16 inches of rain. International aid has been deployed, including teams from Egypt, Tunisia, Turkey, and Spain, along with Doctors Without Borders. The Italian island of Lampedusa is in the midst of a massive stream of migrants. The island, with a population of around 6,000, has seen more than 7,000 people arrive. Many people are fleeing from political instability in Tunisia. Lampedusa has long been seen as a port of first entry for migrants in northern Africa, mainly accepting refugees from Libya. This comes amidst a massive trend of migrants entering Europe. As of September 14th, over 125,000 migrants have entered Italy alone. Following the recent meeting between Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko said that he believed his nation could also aid in relations, stating, quote, "We could think about three-way cooperation." The U.S. believes that the meeting was a driving force in the potential for North Korea to supply ammunition in exchange for Russian weapons or technology. Belarus continues to house Russian troops in the war with Ukraine. However, the country pledges that it will not join the combat. That's all the news I have for this week overseas. Back to you at the desk.
In more local news, Boston Mayor Michelle Wu announced plans to reform the city's zoning code. This will be a new mixed-use district that incorporates both neighborhood cities and small towns.
The Dana-Farber Cancer Institute will partner up with Beth Israel Medical Center to build a brand new hospital in the Longwood medical area. The partnership means Dana-Farber will cut its decade-long ties with Brigham and Women's Hospital. The institute assured their patients that there will not be any changes until the transition is over, which can take up to years. And with football season kicking off last week, we go to our sports correspondent, Riley Burns, with the latest news in the NFL. Riley?
Thanks, Justin. The Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Jacoby Myers suffered a concussion in the season opener last Sunday. Despite his injury, he obtained a game-high 9 catches on 10 targets for 81 yards and 2 touchdowns, the first multi-touchdown catch in his 5-year career. He did not play in last night's game against the Buffalo Bills. Raiders coach Josh McDaniels remains hopeful of Myers' return in the team's upcoming games. The 2023 football season is off to a rocky start for the Minnesota Vikings, who are already down 0-2 in only 5 days. The Vikings were beat 17-20 by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at their home opener last Sunday, September 10th. They were also beat later in the week 28-34 by the Philadelphia Eagles. Quarterback Kirk Cousins says that it's difficult to win in this league when you lose the turnover battle by 1. They're trying to fix their mistakes and prevent them from happening again. And a defensive tackle from Mississippi, DeSanto Rollins, is suing coach Lane Kiffin and the school for racial and sexual discrimination and negligence. He claims he was kicked off the team during a mental health crisis and not supported the same way white and female athletes are at Ole Miss. Injuries and his grandmother's death have interfered in Rollins' career, making him severely depressed. He says that nobody within the athletic department or football program assisted or referred him to mental health services after obtaining his injuries. He is seeking $10 million in compensatory damages and $30 million in punitive damages. However, the school claims they have not yet received a lawsuit from him. That's all I have for news and sports. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Riley. We're going to take a break.
But don't go anywhere. We will be right back.
Life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. Prediabetes does. 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, but with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. And you can change the outcome. Take the 1-minute prediabetes risk test today. Go to doihaveprediabetes.org.
Welcome back to WEBN General News.
Let's jump right into some entertainment news. America's largest newspaper chain, Janet, is hiring 2 full-time reporter positions to cover pop stars Beyonce and Taylor Swift. The requirements for the position include being an expert on Beyonce's Lemonade album and Taylor Swift's 1989 era. The job posting says the candidate for Beyonce should be, quote, an energetic and enterprising writer who can capture Beyonce's impact inside and outside the industry. For Taylor Swift, the ideal candidate would focus on her music and cultural impact. Janet received controversy for creating such distinct positions after cutting back on positions. According to the Boston Business Journal, they eliminated 20% of its journalism jobs between 2021 and 2022.
And after 27 years, which celebrity couple is getting a divorce? Let's go to our entertainment correspondent, Clara Faulkner, for more.
That's right, Justin. Hugh Jackman and Deborah Lee Furness are calling it quits. The actors announced their amicable divorce through a statement in People magazine. They stated, quote unquote, "Our journey now is shifting and we have decided to separate to pursue our individual growth." The pair first crossed paths in the television series Correlli and tied the knot in 1996. The Australian actors are proud parents to Oscar, age 23, and Ava, who is 18. In other entertainment news, Drew Barrymore is resuming production on her television show, but this time without involvement from the Writers Guild of America. The writer's strike has been in effect since May, urging industry professionals for better conditions and wages. Barrymore stated in a video Friday that her intention is not to, quote unquote, upset or hurt anyone. Barrymore's decision is drawing protests from the union and social media, but CBS Media Ventures agrees to stay in compliance with labor agreements and strike rules as the show begins to relaunch. An item from the People's Princess hit Sotheby's New York auction this week, starting at $80,000. Princess Diana's infamous red and black sheep sweater sold for $1.14 million. Diana supported the sweater ahead of her marriage to King Charles, stirring British press. The auction also included 2 letters from Buckingham Palace requesting repair or replacement for the sweater's damage after it was found in a wine box this year. Sotheby's says, quote unquote, "The article is the most valuable sweater ever sold at auction." That's all I have for entertainment. Back to you 2 at the desk.
Thanks, Clara. Today I definitely needed to use my umbrella, but what does the rest of the week look like for us? Let's go to our weather correspondent, Holland Rutter, for some updates. How is it looking, Holland?
Thanks, Isa. Coming up this week, we can expect some sunnier days. Besides today, we are ranging mid-70s all week. Today, we can expect some rain, no more than 1 inch, and wind gusts up to 14 miles per hour. Today has a high of 66 degrees and a low of 59. However, Tuesday and Wednesday, we can start seeing some warmer weather with a high of 74 degrees and a low of 56. Sunshine all day. Thursday and Friday are also sunny with a high of 72 degrees and a low of 56 degrees. Overall, we can take off our raincoats once Hurricane Lee passes this week. That's all I have for weather. Back to you at the desk.
There's some last taste of the summer before we really get into the pumpkin spice season, right? Holland, thank you so much. If you are a Lakeville resident, you may have seen an emu running around your neighborhood in the past 2 weeks. Just take a look at this big guy. He is about 6'3" and he can sprint up to 30 miles per hour. So he was certainly made a lot of trouble for the animal control there. He was caught a couple days later, and according to the animal control, the emu is safe and sound and is living inside an awesome home.
Well, I'm glad the emu is safe. That's all we have for today. Thank you for joining us for WEBN General News.
For more, go to WEBN.tv, or you can find us on Instagram at WEBN General News.
I'm Isa Ortega.
And I am Justin Chen. Have a good night.